My name is Gary Catt. I'm here to talk to you today about the Northern Sacramento Valley Integrated Regional Water Management Group and their plan they're putting together. This group has a board member group of 18 members. There are 6 counties involved, which are Sutter, Butte, Colusa, Glenn, Shasta, and Tehama. And of those 6 counties, there's 1 Board of Supervisor member from each county. There are several city council members from counties, such as Shasta is one of them that has a city council member, Larry Farr from out in Shasta Lake City. And then the rest of them are staff members of county, water groups, and there are some individual farmers on this group. The biggest thing that's going on here, the thing that's really bothered me, this group is a non-governmental organization, an NGO. It is put together of elected officials from 6 counties, but there is no majority of any one county that's on this board. And they're charged with changing regulations for the watershed of the Upper Sacramento River. Now, there's a lot of things that are be coming forward that are really going to be bothersome to us. I would like at this time to mention that I have a website, shastacoordination.com. If you go to shastacoordination.com, there's several little red arrows at the top, and one talks about integrated water management. If you go to that page and you scroll down, you will find a number of links to other pages on this website. Number 9 is financing. It's 27 pages long. In the 27 pages, there are quite some interesting information about how they are going to use our utilities, water utilities, wastewater utilities, to finance different projects that are coming forward. These are ideas that are going to be coming out of this group, and if we're not careful, this group's going to be put together, they're going to have this in place, and then we're going to have real problems. And our County Board of Supervisors are the ones that are working on it, although there is a City of Redding City Council person on this as an alternate. Now there's several different situations going on here. Reading from their own information that you can find on my website under number 9 under finance. We expect the total cost shares will be provided for the first 2 subcategories by way of combination of utility rate increases, revenue bond sales, and appropriations by governing bodies. We're already getting hit with utility increases. Revenue bonds can be purchased by the city or the county. And then we're going to have appropriations by government entities. We need to be very careful in what's coming up here. Capital investments in ecosystem restoration will depend on specific projects that will be proposed and identified funding sources. First of all, what's the project going to be? Who's bringing these projects forward? What kind of project is going to be, and how are we going to fund it? Once this is put together, we're going to have a problem. So I'm just bringing forward that we need to be watching what's going on here. Now, one other thing I'd like to mention, that I attended the Northern Sacramento Valley Integrated Water Management Group's TAC, or their advisory committee, meeting in Willows last Thursday. While I was there, I listened in their deliberations. While we were sitting there talking, I made mention to them that there's a Senate bill that passed in '09. It's Senate Bill X7-7. That is Senate Bill Extraordinary Session, Bill number 7. In that bill, it states that the water producers in the state of California are going to have to decrease their water usage by 20% by the year 2020. The water producers are going to have to decrease their water usage by 20%. Then the figure they're going to use is averaging 1994 up to 2004, and take an average of that. Now that would mean that, say, the city of Redding is a water producer for the city. They would lower their water usage by 20%. Bella Vista Water, which is out in Palo Cedro, would lower it by 20%. But what about the people that live, say, for instance, in Oak Run, that have a ranch and have a well? How are you going to go back and do an average from 1994 to 2004 to do an average for them? That's to start with, number one. And number two, when you're going to be able to do this, you're going to have water meters on all groundwater and surface water. This is in the county. This is the same thing that's going on up in Siskiyou County. But they're going to start putting meters to be able to meter how much water is being used. Once you start metering water and once you start putting a cap on the water, there's 20% today, 50% tomorrow. So the whole point of what's going on is these folks with this Integrated Water TAC Committee had no idea that SBX 77 even existed until I brought it up and brought it into their thought process. This needs to be brought out and needs to be talked about. Further, full funding may be available for some projects, and a local cost match may be required in other cases. That means that there's going to be funding coming forward, but we have to match the funding. There's a percentage match. A lot of times it's 50%. So are we going to be able to put the money forward to match what these projects are coming up? It is possible to base on past experience, and that nonprofit foundations could also be available to pay a portion of these local costs. There's a problem with nonprofits. You've got California Forward, you've got Bay Area Council, you've got ABAG. All these are ABAG's out of San Francisco. California Council is in the Bay Area, but it's an organization of large corporations. And Cal Forward is very active in changing the governance in the state of California. And to be quite truthful, I'm not trusting them at all. And they can raise money and put money into projects. They would raise the money, put money into a project, and then the government entities, say the city of Redding, would have to come up with the matching. And so we're putting ourselves in a position here that we should not go. This is a non-governmental organization. If you want, it's regional government. If you want regional government, we've already got regional government. It's called the California Legislature. It's the legislature should be doing this work, if anybody's going to be doing it. We don't farm it out to supervisors from 6 counties, various different city council members, water agency members that are on this, and then there's some farmers, which I'm glad to see the farmers on there, but there's farmers on here. And everybody is so afraid of what's coming. We've got the water bond that was passed in 2009. The legislature wanted to put it on the ballot in 2010, but they knew it wasn't going to pass, so they didn't put it on. And there's rumors it may be on the ballot in 2012. This bond is a $12 billion bond. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of California is broke. They can't put a budget together that can last for 2 months. They passed a budget last June, 1st of July, patted themselves on the back, they had a budget, and within 45 days we were $2 billion out of phase. We're up to $10 million out of phase now. So the whole point comes down to is they don't have any idea what they're doing, and it's time for us, the people, you and I, need to be standing up and asking questions and finding out what's going on. If we don't, we could lose our country, we could lose our city, we could lose our county. We're already in the process of losing our state. So it's time for us to stand up and start asking questions. Go before the County Board of Supervisors and ask questions on the integrated water management. I'm told that the Shasta County Public Works Director is going to be in charge of keeping an eye on what's going on here. The Board of Supervisors told me this. Well, that scares the heck out of me, that we're going to have the Shasta County Public Works Director is the director of the Shasta County Water Agency. Folks, we got a problem here. We need to be standing up. We need to be talking about what's going on.